Great British coastline. It's often described as bland and boring.
I find this statement completely bewildering.
From the upper shore right out to the subtidal area, the British coastline is teeming with life. All the creatures have been forced to adapt in the most peculiar ways to earn their place amongst one of the most popular habitats. My name's Rosie Young and I'm a marine biologist. I hope to wash away the scientific jargon and bring to you the world of amazement, satisfy your curiosity so you'll never be able to look at these animals in the same way again. Today we have electric colours, gender-changing animals and deadly hunting trips. This is the world of Curiously Common. Well, the very first animal we're looking for today is actually right under our feet. Right here, there are hundreds of these slipper limpets, Crepidula faunacata. Oh, and a little snail along with it. Slipper limpets are found, as we can see, in huge numbers all along the south coast in the UK. They're an invasive species and arrive to our shores on oyster boats from America. They have very successfully made their home on our shores, but why have they earned their place in today's Curiously Common? The lengths a slipper limpet will go to keep a male is probably more than we could imagine. A male slipper limpet will turn into a female if he touches another male. However, there's more to these strange creatures. All slipper limpets are actually born male and await their fate to turn into female. However, this could be put on hold. If a slipper limpet climbs on top of a female instead of a male, as shown here, she'll continuously secrete a hormone into the water to stop him changing to female. This is how the slipper limpets form a stack. And even more surprisingly, all the slipper limpets in between the chain are also in between gender. So what's next to enter into the world of Curiously Common?
This snail here is called a dogwhelk, Nucella lapillus. And although you may think snails aren't the most interesting of creatures, in fact, they're a lot more exciting than that. Let me show you what he can do.
If you find a snail along the British coastline, there's a high chance it's going to be a dogwhelk, as they're found in abundance. However, the last 10 years has been dark times, as the pollutant on ship paint has caused females to grow male parts, wiping out their numbers. Now for my next stage of my adventure, to find out what's just so curiously common about these dogwhelks, I need to find myself a mussel bed. Not just yummy for us.
So I've managed to find myself a really tiny mussel bed. And what we can see is a live action hunt. Can you see the dogwhelk?
Now the dogwhelk uses sucking through its teeth and a mechanical drill to get through the shell of the mussel. Can you just hear above? I've put over a pre-recorded noise of the dogwhelk drilling. These mussels are far from defenceless. The dogwhelk only has a 70% chance of surviving this mussel bed, and they've a very clever trick up their sleeve. Now let me try and find one to show you. So they produce threads like you can see on this one here called byssuses.
So all the mussels will produce these threads in a hope to attach them to the dogwhelk and flip them over. It then becomes a race against time. Can the dogwhelk drill through the mussel, or can the mussel flip over the dogwhelk? We won't disturb the dogwhelk any longer.
Now what I'm showing you next is right here next to us. Don't worry, not about to give you a lesson on rocks. I haven't quite got that sad yet. But there is something living on these rocks which is extremely exciting. And we can also find exactly the same thing living all over this limpet here. This is the barnacle. And they're found in abundance across the UK. There are over 1,000 species of barnacle, all under the infraclass Cirripedia. Fastened to a rock and surrounded by armoured plates would make reproducing an almost impossible task. However, a male barnacle possesses a tool of almost monstrous proportions. His reproductive organ is almost 6 times the length of his body. This is the biggest ratio of any animal species. If they were scaled up to the size of a human, it would be 2 metres long.
So we know these barnacles are weird, but what's next?
Now these wonderful creatures are snake-lock anemones, Anemone viridis, and they are found from Scotland all the way down to the Mediterranean. They're an example of a perfect symbiotic relationship. A plant called Zooxanthellae seeks protection within the anemone and in return provides it with some food. The anemone is then able to lure in fish and crabs to make up the rest of its diet. But don't be fooled. They have some of the strongest stinging tentacles in the UK. If you graze a snake locks with a sensitive part of your body, it can bring up a painful rash that can last up to a month. Many people blame jellyfish after a sting in the sea, however it is more likely these dazzling anemones.
Sadly, that's all we've got time for today. But join us next week as we look at the smaller creatures that live in our shores.